Ladies and gentlemen, I am Lady Lilith, and welcome to Eerie Embers. Beneath the bustling streets of London lies a labyrinthine world shrouded in mystery and shadow. The London Underground, constructed in the Victorian era, this subterranean network of tunnels and passages snakes its way through the ancient city, a witness to over 2 millennia of history and upheaval. In the depths of the underground, where the flickering glow of gas lamps casts eerie shadows on damp walls, whispers of the past linger like ghosts in the darkness. For beneath the veneer of modernry, the tunnels bear the scars of centuries gone by, a backdrop of devastation and destruction that has left an indelible mark on the soul of the city. During the Blitz of World War II, when London was besieged by enemy bombs, the underground became a refuge for the terrified masses seeking shelter from the relentless onslaughts. In the dimly lit passages and the echoing reverberations of falling bombs, tales of tragedy and heroism unfolded. But as the war raged on, the underground bore witness to more than just ravages of conflict. In the corridors and abandoned platforms, whispers of spectral presences stirred, their ethereal forms haunting the shadows like echoes of a bygone era. From phantom footsteps echoing through deserted tunnels to ghostly apparitions flickering in the gloom, it became a realm where the veil between the worlds of the living and the dead grew thin. Even today, beneath the bustling streets of London, the past reverberates through the dark passages of the underground. For those who dare to venture into the shadowy depths of this forsaken realm, behold, 10 of them emerge, each bearing the haunting tale of sorrow and woe. The Black Nun. In ages past, the city of London stood adorned with 109 sacred sanctuaries, each unfolding its own sepulchral grounds where victims of the dreaded afflictions like the Black Death found eternal repose. Amidst the bustling heart of London's financial hub, Bank Station arose, its foundations entwined with the sepulchres of 2 such sanctuaries. Adjacent to this was the stately edifice of the Bank of England, its grandeur masking the sombre past of St. Christopher Lee Stocks Church, its very gardens once a resting place for the departed. Yet amidst the whispers of the forsaken, it is the spectral visage of Sarah Whitehead, known as the Black Nun, that looms most ominously. Sarah's kin, a clerk of the Bank of England, met a dire fate upon the gallows for misdeeds and embezzlements. But even beyond the veil of mortality, Sarah's spirit returns, eternally haunting the corridors of the bank in her relentless quest for her beloved brother. The Ghost of Kensington Loop. Shrouded in whispers, the Kensington Loop, nestled within the veins of the Northern Line, holds sway over the minds of the intrepid. As the train halts at Kensington, passengers disembark, unaware of the macabre dance about to unfold. Within the hallowed carriages, devoid of mortal presence, a ghastly symphony resonates, a cacophony of the slamming doors echoing through the empty confines. Legends whisper of a soul, perhaps a denizen of the London Underground, meeting a grisly demise upon the tracks in the bleak 1950s. Should fate, like a twisted hand, guide you astray one fateful eve, know this: the Kensington Loop awaits, a realm even the bravest of drivers shun, where the line between the living and the dead blurs into oblivion. William Terrace. A chilling chronicle unfolds, recounting the tragic demise of the esteemed thespian William Terrace, whose final act unfolded in a whirlwind of betrayal and bloodshed. Outside the hallowed halls of the Adelphi Theatre, Nestled in the shadow of Covent Garden, Terrace met his grisly end at the hands of a once loyal companion turned now violent foe. In the days of the 19th century, Terrace basked in the limelight of adoration, his path illuminated by the glow of success, with the Adelphi his sanctuary and the Covent Garden bakery his favourited haunt. Yet within the folds of friendship lay treachery, as Richard Archer Prince, a shadow cast by Terry's brilliance, succumbed to the demons of failure and despair. Despite Terry's efforts to alleviate his friend, Prince's descent into darkness culminated in the harrowing act of violence on that fateful December night of 1897. As the Covent Garden bakery crumbled to dust, consumed by the progress to form the Covent Garden Underground Station, the spectre of Terrace found no respite. Instead, his ghostly form wanders the subterranean passages, haunting the very depths where his mortal essence was extinguished. Commuters and workers alike bear witness to his apparition, a vision of elegance and tragedy, clad in an opera cape and gloves, forever condemned to roam the echoing chambers of the underground. The Girl on the Train. Amidst the myriad tales of spectral encounters haunting the depths of London Underground, none send shivers down the spines of the drivers quite like the legend of the Girl on the Train. With each approach to Elephant and Castle on the Bakerloo line, drivers recount of an unsettling sight of a young woman boarding the train, her presence vanishing into the ether without a trace. Yet what lingers in the wake of her departure are not mere echoes of the mundane, but a symphony of spectral phenomena, a haunting cadence of running footsteps, the eerie tap, tap, tap of unseen feet, and the ominous resonance of slamming doors. It is merely the fabled infrasound, its whispers permeating the subterranean tunnels with unseen male violence? Or could it be the elusive Girl on a Train, a spectre eternally bound to the rails? The children of World War II bombings. In the bowels of the underground, amidst the ravages of World War II, desperate Londoners sought sanctuary from the chaos above. Among the deepest recesses of the Central Line lay Bethnal Green, a haven sought by many at the sound of the siren's wail and the ominous roar of bombs in 1943. In a frantic rush for safety, the throngs descended upon the narrow staircases, each step a heartbeat of fear and desperation. Yet, amongst the turmoil, tragedy struck with unforgiving ferocity. Crushed and suffocated in the crush of bodies, countless souls, including innocent women and children, met their untimely end in the darkness below, in a cruel twist of fate, for the sirens that heralded their flights to safety were but cruel rehearsal, not the harbingers of true peril. 173 lives lost needlessly, haunting testament to the folly of war. To this day, whispers in the cold tunnels, tales of spectral wails that echo the agony of those who perished, a reminder of the price paid in the name of survival. Amun-Ra. Legends whisper of a cursed spectre known as Amun-Ra, whose wrath knows no bounds since her entombment in the hallowed halls of the British Museum. In the shadows of the underground lies the British Museum station, a silent sentinel of the past, its platforms deserted and forgotten. Closed to the living in 1933, its secrets buried beneath layers of dust and decay, yet whispers persist of a clandestine passage linking the station to the very heart of the museum itself, a conduit for the vengeful fury of Amun-Ra. Those unfortunate souls who have beheld her spectral form speak of a vision both majestic and terrifying, a regal Egyptian princess, adorned with a headdress that hints at her royal lineage. Across the desolate platforms of Covent Garden and Holborn, her presence lingers, a reminder of the ancient curse that binds her restless spirit to the mortal realm. a worker in white overalls. Upon the spectral soil of an ancient burial ground, Liverpool Street Station stands among a bastion of haunted lore, its very foundation steeped in history of the past. Among the phantoms that roam its shadow corridors, none are as enigmatic as the worker in the white overalls. A ghostly figure that materialises as if bound by duty, clad in the attire of labour and carrying the tools of his trade. Tales abound of sightings throughout the station, each encounter leaving witness chilled to the bone. In the year 2000, as modernly sought to pierce the veil of antiquity in the station's renovation, the ghostly worker was captured on CCTV, a flickering spectre caught in the lens of technology. Yet when brave souls dared to investigate further, they found nothing but empty corridors and echoing silence. The man in the peaked cap. Indeed, the London Underground harbours secrets hidden in the depths, forgotten passages and tunnels veiled from public knowledge, yet lurking just beneath the surface of everyday commutes. At South Kensington, where the Piccadilly line whispers of abandoned ambitions, a chilling apparition emerges. An enigmatic figure cloaked in a peaked cap, clinging to the side of a steam train as it thunders into the station amidst the haunting echoes of the piercing whistle. The ghostly presence that defies explanation, the figure vanishes into the yawning mouth of the abandoned tunnel, leaving only whispers of dread in its wake. And at Highgate, where the shadows of an abandoned Northern Line extension project loom, the air resonates with the phantom echoes of non-existent trains. In the eerie stillness, the distant rumble of locomotives that never arrive haunts the senses. Anne Naylor. In the bleak shadows of the 18th century London, a tale of horror unfolds, casting a pall over the city's grim streets, particularly for the downtrodden and destitute. Anne Naylor, a mere 13-year-old orphan, found herself ensnarled in the clutches of Sarah Metyard and her daughter Sally, apprenticed to the trade of hat-making. But instead of nurturing guidance, Anne was met with cruelty beyond measure. Starved, beaten, and ultimately subjected to a fate most sinister at the hands of Metyard, before her lifeless form was callously discarded at Chick Lane, the site later claimed by the looming presence of Farringdon Station. Her anguished cries echoing through the cold corridors of Farringdon. Many a passer-by has been chilled to the bone by the spectral laminations that pierce the night air. Haunting reminder of the innocence lost and the unspeakable horrors endured by the forgotten children of London's past. The Old Woman of Aldgate. In the passages of Aldgate Station lies a dark and sinister secret. Beneath the bustling platforms lies the shadow of a plague pit, a grim testament of the horrors that befell London in centuries past. Over 1,000 souls, victims of the devastating bubonic plague that ravished the city in 1665, found their final repose in the cold embrace of the forsaken ground, their anguished cries silenced by the passage of time. Yet it is not the echoes of the distant past that haunt the corridors of Aldgate, but a more recent tragedy that lingers like a festering wound upon the soul of the underground. During the dark days of World War II, amongst the chaos and despair that gripped the city, a woman sought refuge within the subterranean shelter of the underground, only to meet a fate more sinister than the bombs raining down from above. Torn from the safety of the platform, she plummeted into the abyss of the tracks, her screams lost amidst the cacophony of war. To this day, her ghostly visage is said to roam the tunnels. Indeed, the London Underground stands as a realm steeped in the whispers of the past, where echoes of bygone eras linger in the tunnels and forgotten passages. From the spectres that haunt the platforms of the abandoned stations, to the restless souls that wander the shadowy corridors, the underground bears witness to a myriad of ghostly apparitions that refuse to be confined by the bounds of time. With each passing train and echoing footsteps, the spirits of London's history are invoked. Amongst the ceaseless flow of commuters and the hum of machinery, the veil between the living and the dead grows thin, allowing glimpses into the spectral realm that lies just beyond reach. Despite efforts to dismiss them as mere flights of fancy, the sheer volume of sightings and the pervasive sense of unease that permeates the underground serve as a stark testament to its status as one of the most haunted places in London.